Well guys, welcome to part 2. In part 2, we're going to be changing all of the capacitors, and except for the bigger capacitors. Here's a 25 volts at 10,000. I don't have the two black capacitors that you can see there, so I don't have those, but I am going to change all the other capacitors, and in order to do that, we do have to take this power supply apart, and so we just take the screws out, and that will allow me to detach the circuit board so I can get to it to put new caps in. So that's what we're going to do. And Lady, my mom's dog, has decided to come for a visit this weekend, so she's going to be here. Anyway, so we're going to be doing that, and I'm going to get this apart and pull the circuit boards out so that they could be I can change them. So stay tuned, because this is going to be a fun, really fun video for you guys. Hi guys, this is Baymax Man. So what we gotta do here is we gotta get this thing apart, and in order to do so, we've got screws that we must take off. In the background, you can hear her watching the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner movie. So, actually with this one, so the only thing really needed to be done is to take this screw out right back in here, which is back here, this corner, and then this circuit board. Also, we gotta disassemble the power transformer. So I'm gonna take the screws out of the transformer so that this circuit, because it's the transformer is connected to the circuit board, which is mounted to this mounting plate, and it's got washers here. On the screws. The washers are built into the screw head so that it's nice and flush, and it holds it. And what I'm doing is, I guess I should turn it around. That's where I'm going now. So now what I'll do is take the screw off the back side here. And that will allow us to be able to access that circuit board. Alright, so now as you can see, we can now access this board right here that we need to access. So we're going to be taking all of these screws, putting them where I don't lose them. Now these caps are working fine. I'm sure there's not really anything wrong with them. There might be A couple of them, well, there's probably two of them that are going bad, because we do have a little bit of pairing bone in the picture, which that can happen, is mainly caused by the power supply not distributing the proper voltage to the machine, and so that causes those little clear lines that go up and down in the screen, called pairing bone effect, which is what happens when you're not getting the 100% voltage. We're probably getting about 97% voltage compared to what we should be getting, which is 100%. So that's why we got that pairing bone effect. Here we got another, we do have another board that we got to unscrew here so that we can get to these two, because there are two electrolytic capacitors right here that are down in this vicinity area. So these right in here. I'm going to go ahead and take that as, I'm just going to disassemble it from the board here, and I think I'll probably have to take it from there as well. Yeah, disassembly is not too difficult. It's pretty easy to disassemble one of these. You just have to remember how it goes together. Now, if you're like me, you don't ever have to worry about how it goes back together, because I've done them in my sleep. But somebody like you who maybe doesn't have a whole lot of mechanical skills, and may not necessarily, come on out of there, have the ability to know how to put something back together, you can always review the video here. It's a pain in the butt to try to get these off sometimes, so. But they've got 4 screws that come off here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, we've got like 4 screws that come out as well. And this thing will now disassemble from the mounting plate. So now we can actually get to those electrolytic capacitors that have failed. And I think what I'm going to do is put a new tip in my iron, because my last tip got so hot that I buy cheap iron tips because I go through them so much with working on these, because they're cheap, and if the heat stays on the tip for large period amounts of time, I usually just let my soldering iron sit and be hot while I'm working on stuff, and the heat can kind of damage the tips. So let's just measure the ESR. Alright, let's just see here. Okay, yeah. This one is starting to go bad, so we're gonna change these. Yeah, that one's actually okay, but it is questionable, so we're gonna change those. Now these are probably 16 at 47. Nope, they're 25 at 47. So let me show you the ones that we're doing here. So these are the two light blue Rubicon caps that we're going to change. I'm going to get a new tip in my iron, and then we'll get going on that. And we'll get my iron heated up here. Let me get another tip. This tip, one of these kind of tips I kind of like because you can get at different angles. So I'm going to have to order some more tips because I'm down to my last two. And I've got a smaller tip that I save specifically for putting voltage regulator ICs in, because the small tips, they're very good with getting into the little nook and crannies. But this is the kind of tip that I do like because it's got like an angle. It's at an angle and it's cut differently, and it allows you to get into hard to reach areas. So we'll put that on, and then let's just get the tip on, and I'm going to plug my iron in. So yeah, to change these is not hard. You just unscrew. Different irons have different tips, but this is the most commonly used iron, and as you can see that my tip is actually destroyed because of the heat. So we're going to throw that in there, and yeah, we're going to put that, we're going to slide that on there. Okay, I'm back. So let's get my tools ready here. Now, sometimes the wires can come out of their sockets, so you just have to be careful and try not to move it around too much. So I think my tip is probably warmed up by now, and I should be able to start working on this. There we go. Get the tips all cleaned up, get them out. So we've got those two desoldered, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. I'm going to see what ones, I think they were both 25 at 47. Or no, wait, this one's different. This one is a 50 volt at 2.2 microfarads. So we need to get a 2.2, and we need to get a, oops, here's a 2.2, which I believe is the blue one. The blue cap is the 2.2, I think. Nope, that's 0.22. These caps got moved around in shipping. They have these little plastic dividers that divide the caps. And the dividers moved around in the shipping, so. And we'll get a 25 here as well. We needed a 50 at 2.2 and a 25 at 47. So we got those out. We'll put those in. Let's put the 2.2 goes in the back. I'm not going to show doing every capacitor because that will take way too long. But we've got 2 replaced so far. And that dog sees his reflection in the glass, and she thinks that there's somebody there. Okay. Hey! Get my solder here. Hey, Maui. Maui's decided to join us. This is the Betamax kitty. Maui is AKA Betamax kitty. Tip, I gotta get the tip in the right spot here. Gotta get it up to temp here. Just get these all soldered in here. Flick some of this excess solder off. So we're gonna cut the leads on that one, and we should be able to now get this thing. We got this thing going pretty good. Okay, so we got those in, and luckily, you know, none of the caps are leaking, so I'm not going to have to deal with damaged traces on this particular video. At least not of yet, anyway. So with these new caps, it will fix the video issue with the pairing bone. And it doesn't always show up on camera. The pairing bone didn't really show up on camera that much, so you just have to take my word for it that it is there. So, okay, so this one is fine now. This one we can goes in like this. Okay, now what else I want to do is check the capacitors, get these changed. This is a, see, it's a 16 at 100. There's a 16 at 1000. These are, here's a 10 at 47. We've got a, let's see, we've got a 50 at 10. So I'm just checking to see if I've got all of these, which I do. So that is not going to be an issue. Let's get this changed. So let's just, what I'm going to do is take these loose. We'll just take all these loose. Now this is going to be quite a long video. It's probably going to be about an hour long. After I edit all kinds of stuff, I'm going to have to do some editing in order to tip is not working very good, guys. That's the problem with cheap tips. They don't always work that great. Okay, I think I've got all the ones loose that need to be loose. You know, I was just thinking of the catchphrase that everybody uses: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, it is broke. I mean, it's got some pairing going, but other than that, there's nothing really wrong with the power supply, other than the fact that some of these caps are a little low, on the low side. So there's a 16 at 1000. And I'll show you all the caps that we changed. There's a 16 at 1000 here, which is at the end. Oh, that's a 100. I need a 1000. There's a 1000 right there on the bottom. Almost put a 100 in there. That would have been very bad, wouldn't it? Okay, there's a new one here that we're going to put in. Put this one in. Just going to pull the leads out a little bit so that they stay in place when I'm soldering. There might be one or two in here that's going bad. I mean, there's one's going bad, but there might be one or two in here that are bad. Just start changing these out and get them put in. And alright, here's a 16. Now we'll need a 16 at 100. And that one is, it looks like they are Rubicon. Like I said before, these assortment of caps are very good for doing smaller projects like I'm doing, or projects like this where common capacitors are used. When you buy those those capacitor kits, they have certain ones that are used on all the time, so you can get, you know, like I said, I'm probably not going to show all of these that I'm doing, but we'll, you know, show a few of them. That way you know I'm doing them. There's no, I had somebody say, are you really changing them? Or are you just saying that? Yes, I'm really changing them, guys. If I wouldn't just say that, but just for those kind of people, this video proves that yes, I am changing them out, and there is no trickery or bullshit here. Can't believe that somebody would even think that, but okay. So working on the power supply, these are some of the capacitors changed, minus two of them. Because two of them I just dropped on the floor, but we've changed 2, 4, 6. We've changed about 8 capacitors altogether in the power supply. So now what we gotta do is just get this thing put back together, and we'll put it back into the VCR, and we'll see how well she performs with all new electrolytics. Okay, she is all back together and performing nicely. Look at that, we got a nice bright VFD display, and that is very, very bright, very nice. I don't think this machine can perform any better than it is, other than doing a few basic maintenance things to it. But we'll pause my CED player for a minute, long enough to show the picture quality of the 750. So let's do that. I want to show you. So let's just go ahead, we'll put a tape in. And I'll go ahead and get this tape in here. Go ahead and get this thing playing. Got our volume meters, are nice and bright. And these volume controls adjust the input volume coming into the machine. So let's get this paused. The CED, we're going to pause it, or we're just going to flip it to off. If we flip it to off, that'll keep that in the same position. Let's go to video 2, and there we go. So there we go, guys. Working good. I can't show more than a little bit because I don't want to get hit with copyright infringement. But we can adjust the tracking a little bit. There she is. She's got a good quality picture. I don't know if I want to sell it or not. Kind of thinking I might want to keep it. But, oh yeah, I don't want to show too much, so I'm going to do that. But I can do this, that way I don't get a copyright strike. We'll show this, and that way I don't get a copyright strike. I don't want to get a strike because I got my last channel taken down. So what we can do is show corners of it, And that shows you that this thing is beautifully performing, and the tracking is a little off on this tape. There we go. Perfect. That's right in the middle where it should be. Now if we need to, we can tweak the tracking adjustments. If I had a alignment tape, I could put one of those in and do some alignment with the oscilloscope. Oh, so silly scope. But I think it's performing beautifully. Very, very happy with the picture quality that this is performing. And the tape is very, very old, but playing just fine. So I'm going to go ahead now and clean the heads and clean the tape path, and then we'll start. Then we can put in my good tapes and start playing back some of my good tapes. Like I've got a brand new tape of Pinocchio, Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater, Pinocchio. Got a brand new cassette that we can play on this, and I could watch a movie or two on this thing. So clean the tape path. Now obviously on a HF750 the heads are a little bit hard to get to clean. So one of the things that you'll want to do is we're going to power that off. The thing that we'd want to do is take this plate here, and you can take this plate off, and by doing that you can get to the drum. And then oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention, I'm not seeing the pairing bone that I was seeing before, so that by putting new caps in the power supply definitely has really helped this machine perform beautifully. And you know, that display there, nice and bright. It was bright before, but I think it's even brighter now. And these machines are very interesting. They're a little difficult to service because they have so many parts. And this is a skate loading mechanism. Linear skate cassette loading, where the deck completely comes out. You know, half of the deck comes out. So we'll take this piece off. I gotta remember how to take it off because it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I believe you just pull the tabs, push the tabs in, and then this metal piece will lift up, and it'll give me enough clearance to where I can get into the drum and clean the head drum, and then I'll clean the video heads. But that should be it for this baby. This thing is ready to go, ready to rock and roll. Just can't believe how beautiful that picture is. I'm not getting any of the pairing bone that I was before. Don't want to show that for more than a few seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the heads, clean the tape path, and just consider this machine good to go to a new owner. It can go to its new owner. And there was one capacitor. There was a 63 volt at 100 microfarad that I did not have. I thought I had some, but I did not have them. So what I did was I did have a 50 volts at 100. So I took a 50 volt at 100, and I took a 25 volt at 10. So it's a little high on voltage and a little high on the microfarad, but it works and performs beautifully. So let's get this cleaned up, and this thing will be ready. I've also got a another Sony SL100 that's delivered this morning that I did not get, or actually this afternoon, and I haven't got to opening it yet because I've been working on the 750. So this one we had we lost picture quality. The picture quality was bad. We got that going, so we're gonna clean the heads, put this together, and get this thing up for sale on eBay. Get it up on eBay, get this thing up for sale, and we'll probably later tonight we'll get into what we'll do is we'll open up that box and take a look at the SL100. Now the SL100 there in the box was listed as working, but the picture quality was very poor, and in fact there was noise bars at the top and bottom. Now that might be, I have a sneaking suspicion that the servo is not locking up, and that's causing the lines to, the white bars to draw, go through the picture. But we'll look at that here in a little bit. Right now I just want to get this finished up so that we can get this one up for sale on eBay and ready to go to its new owner, because the 750s, I don't see them very much. I don't get a hold of them very much. When I do get a hold of them, usually I have to sell them at a really high price to get my money back out of them. This one I've got roughly about $120 in, with all the parts and stuff that I put in it, which comes to about $20 in parts, and an additional amount of money for the Novus 1, 2, and 3. So anyway, let's get this thing going. She's all cleaned and put back together, except I gotta put it back out because I gotta put this piece back on inside. Forgot to put this piece on, but this piece just simply snaps on and off. It is basically a shield for the heads. It helps shield it from electrical interference. But this, I take it off because I had to clean the head drum and the heads, and it was hard to do with this piece in there. It's really hard to do it, so this was critical to take that off. But I do have a tape here, Rambo, and it's got some commercial trailers, movie trailers at the beginning that I can show you without getting hit with a copyright strike. And the Betamax kitty has decided to join us. Hey, Maui. Come here. Come on. You come and sit with me? No? Okay. Baby girl. Come on. Here you go. Alright, so we can play the tape and I'll show it to you. Let's hit play. Here's one of the commercials, and the quality is superb. I think I can turn up the volume because, like I said, these are movie trailers, and I don't think they'd mind. I can show you these. Now, there's also a display button. So there's the display, which you can turn it on or off. This one was one of the few betas that actually had a display. If you rewind, you can see the indicator there, or the play logo, or the fast forward indicator. So we can go all the way back. So the display, which is right there, this button, you can turn it on and off there. But you can see this thing is performing very beautifully. Like I said, I think I could play this without getting hit with a copyright. I miss the video store. This actor was that one actor. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the other guy, the other cop, that guy right there, he played on According to Jim. So he's a known actor. That one from Everybody Loves Raymond, and that guy, he played in where's that guy? That guy right there. Or no, not that guy. One of those guys I recognized from Lethal Weapon. I gotta take this back off to put that piece back in it, but it is performing very beautifully. Good quality picture. So this thing is in really good condition. I polished out as much of the scratches as I can. the clog, and once in a while there's a head clog, because the oxide, the tape is shedding its oxide. And that's what I don't like about Scotch and Fuji have those issues. Now we're in Rambo 3, so I can't show very long, but Rambo 3. Just rewind it all the way back. I might be able to get to that plate back on without taking the thing back apart, maybe, huh? Because that shielding goes like this. It goes on like this. So we got the pieces back on now, and I'm going to put the cover on. I am going to do a little bit more polishing, and I'll show you the stuff that I'm going to be using. It's Novus 3, 2, and 1. And I'll get those out. I'm going to put this cover back on. We'll do some polishing, and we'll do a final polish. There's one for deep scratches and one for fine scratches. So this is the stuff that you want to do. So what you want to do is do 3, 2, and 1. And that's the order you want to go in, because this is actually for heavy scratches. This is for fine scratches. And then this is to clean and shine the plastic. Now it works on plastic, it works on metal, painted surfaces. I mean, electronics, you know, back in the 80s, of course, as you can see, they used metal as well as plastic. So there's a plastic front faceplate, and then there's the metal dust cover. So I'm going to go ahead and I've already done all the deep scratches, but I'm going to go ahead and do it again, because there's this little scuff deep scratch right in here. I'm going to try to get it I'm going to try to make it so it's as faded as I can get it. I'm trying to get as much of this, try to get it as clean as I can. I'll just try to use it on the small scratch, on this deep scratch. I'm going to use it, just going to polish it in, just rub it in until we try to get this. As you can see, I've already worked on it and it's already shining, whereas when I got it, it wasn't shiny at all, and now it is. So I'm going to work on that, and then this thing will be ready to go to its new owner. Okay, so it's the next day, and this is about as shiny as it's going to get. Cannot get it any shinier than this. I took as much of the scratches out as I possibly could, but there's still a couple of them. You know, there's one of those really deep scratches right there, but the rest of it looks pretty decent. There is a couple scratches on the side, but not this side, but the other side here. There was just a little scratch right there, where that's actually where the paint is not there anymore. So that scratch, there's nothing I can do about that. But as far as the rest of it, it looks pretty dang good. So that is going to be it. That's going to be the complete repair of the SOHF 750. See you later. Bye-bye.